It's a little dark this morning, but come in. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the Queen of Credit channel. If you're not already a subscriber, you definitely want to subscribe so you can get notifications whenever I upload these life-changing videos, right? So, you see the title in my caption. It's a 70% chance, right? 70% chance the recession will drop this year. 70% chance that it will drop this year. But what's even more just dreadful about this recession versus 2008 is that the dollar will also collapse as well, right? And if you don't know what I mean by the dollar will collapse, what I mean is the dollar is becoming less and less valuable, less and less wanting to use. Right now, for example, China is the number 2 country as it relates to the economy, right? The United States is number 1. China, right before this coronavirus, was in the process of creating their own cryptocurrency, right? So digital currency and things like Bitcoin and Litecoin and all of these other altcoins that have come out, allowing countries to exchange goods and services. Even Akon has his own crypto coming out for his city in Africa, right? Akon City. And all of this has changed the game for the dollar. So meaning that China and other countries globally are like, United States, we don't want your dollar anymore. And you are so much in debt, not only to China that the United States is in debt to, the United States is also in debt to the Federal Reserve. When you go on the U.S. debt clock and you see the trillions of dollars that the United States is in debt to, it is in debt to the Federal Reserve because the Federal Reserve is not a government entity. If you ever been to Washington, that building right next to the White House, right? It's a private sector that lends and prints money to the United States government. And so that's who we are, the United States is in debt to, right? And so 70% chance that the recession will happen. This is why. If President Trump, right, if President Trump's candidates, if he has to run against the presidential candidate, Warren or Sanders, for example, then the recession will probably hit December or next year into 2021 if he runs against Warren or Sanders. Now, if he runs against Biden or some other Wall Street focused candidate, or Democrat, right, then it probably will hit before the election. So just pay attention to that. You heard it here first from the Queen of Credit. If he runs against Biden, then the recession will hit before the election because Biden is very Wall Street, focused, economic focus. But if he runs against Sanders or Warren, right, then it'll probably be December or 2021 that the recession will hit. And this recession, they called 2008 the Great Recession. This recession is going to be bigger than 2008. It is going to be compared to the Great Depression of 1930s because you have so many moving intricacies, so many moving pieces, including credit changes that are scheduled to hit 2020 of the summer of 2020 of this year. So again, you heard it here first from the Queen of Credit. If President Trump runs against Biden, the recession will hit this year before the election because Biden is Wall Street focused. But if he runs against his candidates or Warren or Sanders, it will be December or 2021 of next year before the recession hits. But when it's going to hit the American people, it is going to be a disaster. And I am forewarning you right now that's why this credit changes is scheduled to take place in 2020 of December, in the next couple of months. That's why I'm warning you that AU trade lines will not help you in a couple of months or weeks, because you need to establish your primary trade lines, because when this FICO 10 hits and the banks adopt it, what I mean by banks adopting it is banks will want the FICO 10 because banks are going to want to protect themselves from having all these charge-off credit cards, right? But when the recession hit, about to get up with me with my econ at the end of the day. Hey, Willie, I don't do my cash flow strategies through my econ, but I still do them. So the membership for that is $80, Willie. And I partnership with another company for the W4 Wealth, the tax rich. Somebody that's watching live, put in the comments whether you're watching live or in the replay. Tax rich. Hashtag tax TAX rich. RICH, tax rich strategies. So if you're watching this live or in the replay, put tax rich strategy. So Mr. Willie, I think my econ was $49 to implement those strategies. And why I have to partnership with another business is because you have to be under a home-based business model to do that. What I do independently of in the business is credit restoration, right? You know, my goal is to get people above 720 and beyond credit. 720 and beyond. Above 720, right? So put that in the hashtag too. Above 720. That's my goal for all my clients. So that's my business. My credit and cash flow is power. That's my business. That's not a part of any business. But if I can help my clients get tax rich, because a lot of issues going on with credit is they have to pay down debts. And the FICO 10 is going to focus on exactly that. It's going to look back at your credit for 2.5 years, right? 2.5 years, 30 months. So for these people that try to temporarily get a credit boost through AU trade lines, and just think about it, people, when you pay for these trade lines, these AU trade lines, they're only going to be reporting on your credit report for 30 to 60 days. So when you pay or purchase an AU trade line, after 60 days, you're right back in your same credit situation. So what the FICO 10 is going to do is going to protect the banks when this recession hits from getting, from having accounts unpaid, from having so many charge-offs. It's going to protect the banks from lending you money and allowing you to have business credit so you can take an opportunity during this recession to get richer. See, recessions are meant to get richer, right? So if you have some time and you're not driving like I am to comment, or you're watching the replay, I want you to put that in the replay, right? Recessions are meant to get richer, but it's for the people who will be able to leverage the bank's money to buy these houses that are going to be foreclosed, to buy these assets that's going to be foreclosed upon. And so, you know, you can be in position, you can position yourself for prosperity. So when these houses in the real estate market crashes as well, you're going to be able to get housing foreclosed on for dirt cheap, because you have people right now that's not even aware of what's going on in the economy. They're not aware of what's going on in the economy. They're buying new homes right now that within a couple of months they might be foreclosed upon, because they don't know, or that they're using their tax money right now to buy new vehicles or use bad vehicles that are used and that are lemons that won't last long, right? And they're not going to just hold on to that. The best thing I can tell you to do with your tax refund if you get a refund, because I just try to break even, because I want my money in my household throughout the year. I'm not giving, and that's what the tax rich strategy is about. That's what W4 Wealth is about. I'm not giving the Federal Reserve, a non-government entity. The Federal Reserve is made up of rich and wealthy families, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. You need to do your research. The people that print these dollar bills, right? The Carnegies, their families control the Federal Reserve, and they control the United States government, because they print the money, they loan it to the government, and they charge interest on it. And so the government collects the money back from the hardworking people who have jobs in form of taxes. So I'm not giving any, and I'm doing, this is legal. You know, I'm tired of people in the black and brown community want to look at, can I carry someone's child? You know, and those days are over with anyway with Trump's new tax laws. Because let me give you this scenario. If you owe back taxes and you want to carry someone's child, a dependent that's not your child, and ask them to carry them, and you don't qualify for earned income credit, and you barely break even, right? You don't break even, and so you just lower your tax liability, you're still going to owe that person who child that you claim is yours to lower your tax liability money out of pocket. So why not get a home-based business? Do it the legal way. Do it the way the government would allow you to do it legally. And not only that, you're shortchanging yourself if you're just getting someone's child or borrowing someone's child for tax season. When if you do it the legal way through a home-based business, right, you get square footage of your home or an apartment, right? You get so many more deductions. As a tax write-off, you get your cell phone bill that you pay on a monthly basis, your mileage that you put on your vehicle when used for business use. You get so much more advantages of doing it the legal way, and so many more tax deductions that can make you tax rich, right? See, that's the problem. That's the reason why a lot of people have bad credit, because they're not tax rich. They're not tax rich. And so they're giving the Federal Reserves all of their money, and they're living paycheck to paycheck, or they're trying to get two jobs, right? And I've heard people say, I picked up a second job, two jobs, and I had to cut hours on my part-time job because I was getting taxed so high, or I end up owing back in taxes. These are people that's making under $69,000 a year that were in position of owing back in taxes because they got two jobs, like Dave Ramsey suggested. And now they're putting them, now your money is going out another way. And so the second part of this video title is, do you have credit or do you have debt? Right? Do you have credit or do you have debt? There is a difference. Just as Robert Kiyosaki began to educate people financially and awaken people financially and inform people that assets are anything that puts money into your pocket. Liabilities is anything or transaction that takes money out of your pocket. I am awakening you all to understand that credit is any transaction that you use to acquire an asset that will put money into your pocket. And debt is any transaction that you use or that you perform that will take money out of your pockets. Now, let me say that again. Credit is any transaction, anything that you do when you use the bank's money, whether it's through the form of a credit card or a loan is anything that you do by using the bank's money to make a transaction that will put money into your pockets. Debt is anything that you do when you use the bank's money to take money out of your pockets. For example, you get into debt when you use the bank money to be a homeowner or a home buyer. Now, I'm not advocate of renting. You know, I wanted a home because I like the freedom of having a home. I just felt like when I was living in a apartment that I was boxed in, right? You just boxed in, just people on the side of you, on top of you, on the bottom of you, you know. And I don't like being in a box. So what I did, however, because I'm not a multimillionaire like Dave Ramsey, and I can not go out and pay for a $300,000 house with cash, right? Middle class people try to take advice from Dave Ramsey, and he's a multimillionaire. His strategies he can pay cash for anything, everything. He has enough of it because you're buying his products and material. Let me say that again. Dave Ramsey can pay for cash for anything because he has enough cash because you're buying his products and material. You're buying that financial peace. You're buying that term life insurance that he's getting promoted or endorsements off of. Antonio, I think my phone, all I see is that being that that's all I see on your comment. Being that I don't know what that means, Antonio. I guess so, you know, Dave Ramsey is getting rich from you investing off, taking his investment advice and residual income from you, you know, lining or enrolling in the life insurance and mortgage companies that he recommends. But Dave Ramsey, at the end of the day, cannot help many of you all get a house with cash. He doesn't have that in his financial peace workbook. I've seen it nowhere. The only thing Dave Ramsey can help a lot of people do with cash is tell them to stuff it in their envelopes and go make groceries with cash. I'm playing around with it. And so, yeah, that's about it. He can't tell you how to pay your bills on. You can't even purchase his product with cash. You have to have a credit card, debit card if you go online. You can't even purchase his products with cash. You can't pay a lot of your bills with cash. You have to pay them, you know, online. So, you know, that information is obsolete and actually is non-biblical. So, Antonio, I guess you're asking me, that being that you are in my econ, what do you do? I'm still with my econ, but I just want people to know that my econ is a do-it-yourself service. Like with you, Antonio, when you enroll with my econ, I help you step by step with your W-4. But there is a new 2020 W-4 now for 2020 that's different than the previous W-4s. And I just don't have the time to help each and every client that I enroll with a W-4. So now I go through this other company that I partnership with who also help clients with their credit repair, but they do it on a month-to-month basis, so the results are not as fast, as quick as mine. But for some people, they just have one item, right, that they may need help with. Like I had a client I spoke to last night that talked to me about one recent late payment. And so he wanted the credit reversal. So those situations, I just outsource through my partnership companies, right? I focus on the more advanced things, the inquiry removals now, bankruptcies, charge-offs, and collections. So if you have 1 or 2 items or under 5 items, I outsource it through this company. And then if you want and all of this comes for $80. So my econ was $49.99, and this company is $80. So it was only $30 more so that I can provide my clients the customer service they needed to get tax-rich strategies, right? I might start calling it tax-rich strategies. I like that versus W-4 wealth. So yeah, do you have credit? If you're coming in at the end of this video, because I think it was going in and out as I was driving, my credit question is, do you have credit or do you have debt? It's a big difference, right? Big difference. People need to understand that. Do you have credit or do you have debt? And if you watch the end of this video, go back, watch the replay. Now I'm explaining my predictions on when the recession will hit, and it depends on who President Trump is running against. So if you're ready for the tax risk strategies, if you're ready to get your credit restored before the FICO 10 becomes effective by December, send me an email at ld@fixmycreditandcash.com. I want to beat this opportunity. My credit has to be worked on long term. Mr. Willie, also the company I'm partnership with, offer the business opportunity for $249. So if you just don't want the membership, you can get the entire package, which will include your tax risk strategies of looking at your paycheck. And they have professional consultants to help you correct your 2020 W-4. So you get the tax risk strategies for your 2020 W-4 for a one-time for $249. You also can get your credit fixed or repair on a month-to-month basis if you need it quicker. You will want to go through me. But if you want long-term credit, month-to-month, right? Month-to-month. And then once you sign either people that wants to be, and you get the home-based business tax deductions, right? That's all in the tax risk strategies. Credit repair tax risk strategies. So they're going to help you with your 2020 W-2, right? W-4, your credit on a monthly basis. And how the business opportunity works, Mr. Willie, is that if once you enroll 3 other people who want the business opportunity for $249 as well, your membership is free. That's something people need to look at with the home-based business. Do you have the opportunity to have it for free membership? So your membership will become free. Or if you enroll 7 customers at $80 a month for their long-term credit repair, your membership will be free, and you get infinite residual income from this company. Meaning that after you enroll, for example, your first 3 customers, you get residual income as long as they are doing their long-term credit repair, right? From every customer, residually, infinite returns on your investment. So yeah, reach out to me, ld@fixmycreditandcash.com. I can let you sign up for long-term credit repair. Mr. Richard Wallace just sent me a message on my Facebook page. What services do you offer? I will log off and answer those questions. And I probably will go back live tonight around 7:30 or 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. So join me then, Queen of Credit and Cash Flow and Debt Collectors as well. Queen of everything.